know that this is a really beautiful story, and I'm honored to be able to be the storyteller of such an amazing story of inheritance, of stewarding a condo. But no matter how many times I walk through the doors of this condo and immediately feel the love, I have to be so forthcoming and transparent and say that I also feel extreme responsibility. And not just the responsibility of what's cool to renovate, right? The responsibility of that expense, but there's a huge weight that I carry of being responsible for taking care of this condo and keeping this condo, managing the estate and all of the financial responsibilities, which are not too much. I mean, I will be honest. I'm so glad that Aunt Stefy really handled her business, and as far as a lot of the financial responsibility, it wasn't like a huge mountain of debt. But paying a mortgage off and making sure that I keep the taxes paid is a responsibility. Making sure that I don't ever get late on the HOA fees or get behind, because I realized this weekend when I came out here, well, Friday actually, when I came out here and checked the mail, that I almost let this slip through the cracks. Like, I literally was served like this lawsuit, and it's not moving forward, but it was a final lawsuit, final notice before a lawsuit. And then so this mail was mail that I had sitting on the counter that I got in January, that I just threw it on the counter because I did pay one set of taxes. I don't know why I thought, I guess, I don't know. It's zoning and the county, city, all of these municipalities. So let me catch you up and try to do this quicker than I normally would. So this condo, as long as I've been alive and Aunt Stefy has shared with me, and I just know the city, I assumed that the condo was in Germantown. I didn't find out until recently when I was thinking about buying another property, and I walked through their property, and end up talking to the realtor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we just was making small chat," and I told him that, you know, I am actively carrying the responsibility financially of a condo that I inherited, and I'm not sure whether I was ready to buy another property or not. And so he asked where the condo was, and I told him Germantown. He said, "Oh, where in Germantown?" And I told him where. He was like, "Oh, I own several condos in that community." I'm like, "Oh, small world." Really helpful guy. He ended up sending me, and immediately he was like, "Oh, you know that's not Germantown. It's actually the city. The street over is Germantown, which would be in Shelby County." And so in talking to him, I realized, oh man, so I probably owe city and county taxes. Fast forward, in February, I paid the county taxes, which was about $570, higher than the year before because Shelby County keeps reassessing property. Paid that $575, and I was like, okay, I'm caught up, good, bam. I can use the money that I have saved up to start the kitchen renovation. I come out here Friday, check the mail, and I was like, another notice from the trustee? Like, I literally already got a notice from the trustee, and I paid it, and something said open the mail, because I'm not a mail opener. I get mail, throw it on the counter like I did with this notice, and had I opened this, I would have known, because this was in January. Anyway, I opened that up, and it was a summons, like some kind of chancery court summons, and said that the taxes had not been paid since 2024. These were city taxes. I have been paying county taxes for the past 2 years, never late, because I'm always so afraid of being behind on taxes, because that is how families lose estates. by not paying taxes. They will put a judgment on late taxes. Once the judgment is on, they are able to auction it off at a tax sale, and you will lose your family property. Y'all, when I tell you I immediately went into a panic attack, I immediately was like, oh my God, what if it's too late? I read through the notice, legal language, trying to make sure I understand what were my next steps. I literally, in my car, parked outside, was like, let me transfer some money from one account to another, because I try to keep my business account separate from my personal. Tried to transfer the money, Regions was closed, and so I was just panicking about getting home to get in front of the computer and pay these taxes immediately. 2 years of taxes. 2. Those were $700 a piece. And at first I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get caught up on 2024. I was like, oh, hell to the no, no, no. You are gonna pay 2024 and 2025. Get that over with, because we're not dealing with this. Now I know there are city taxes and county taxes. Thank you, Gila. Jesus, Gila, Jesus, all of them that I opened that mail. We're talking about inheritance, Black, white, Chinese, Mexican, Indian, whatever race. If we are to hold on to properties for generational wealth, we first need to have the conversation about how to protect these assets, what the financial responsibility is for the estates and the properties, and then equipping ourselves of how to keep up with the finances, keep up with the taxes, keep up with the property itself. Because right now my focus was on maintaining the stability in the infrastructure in the inside, the interior of the property, so that it doesn't get into neglect and I start having to pay for more additional expenses inside the condo. But there is so much more to inheriting a condo than just the stories that we share on social media. For me, this is a real day-to-day responsibility. I'm managing expenses at my primary home as well as this condo, because it is so important to me to keep it. It is extremely important for me to keep it, and I'm sure that they were behind in 2024 because of maybe Aunt Stefy's health, or maybe she couldn't get to the mailbox to keep up with the mail. I'm not sure, but I'm just so thankful that I had the finances, the money sitting in an account to go ahead and take care of it. Think about how many families may have been summoned or given a notice the same as I did and did not have that money to pay for 2 years back pay on taxes. And mind you, this is just a condo. Think about what the property taxes could be for a 3-1 or a 5-2. You can easily lose a property. So, saying all that to say that, of course, on this journey, I have been sharing the renovation, but I think it's so much, it is so important to pivot or to balance this conversation with the challenges or what I am doing to make sure that I keep it financially. And yeah, to share the financial responsibility that I am having to make sure I, keep up with, so that I don't lose something that is so incredibly special to me. I mean, so incredibly special. I'm just grateful. So in the next video, I'm going to go back a little bit, take some steps back with my journey, and talk about, in the next video, I'll talk about what happens when you find out that you have inherited a property, or what happens when you find out that there is a family property and you're having to decide what to do with it, who will keep it, what are your next steps when someone passes away and they have a home. Because you all know my heartbeat flutters when we talk about legacy homes and preserving legacies that are within the places that so many people made memories as a family. So yeah, I paid them taxes, boo. City of Memphis, Shelby County. You won't get this one.